Welcome to the Grand Canyon at Napoleon High School as we bring you some Monday night non-league girls basketball action. The Lady Bears will face the Napoleon Wildcats tonight here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Brian Arnold and Tim Meister here with you to bring the action tonight from the Grand Canyon. And Coach Meister, a little bit of a rivalry renewed here between two teams that really know each other pretty well.
Yeah, these two have played some tremendous basketball games over the course of the last 3 and 4 years. The kids know each other. It's become a really nice battle. Last year, of course, remember Napoleon came over and took it to us in the regular season. Shot about as well as we've seen a girls team shoot all that year. And then the Lady Bears just completely flipped their season around from that point. Got their revenge in tournament action where they could really turn the tables, and they really just got very physical, defended the heck out of Napoleon, and had a huge tournament win at Bryan against Napoleon.
Yeah, and I know Coach Grosjean and the girls have been a little disappointed about where things are right now. 7-6, two tough losses in the league to start it out with Archbold and Delta. But realistically, if you look at where the Golden Bears were about this point last year, it's not a whole lot different. Kind of scuffling around a 500 record, lost those first couple league games in tight contests. So they've got an opportunity to keep things going in the right direction. And they didn't beat Delta, but they played a really good one-loss Delta team right down to the wire on Friday.
Yeah, since they played their games over the Christmas break, and again, they played some tremendous teams and played some really good competition. I thought they came back. They did a great job against Van Wert. They established themselves and hammered them early. They played, like you said, a Delta team that had one loss and really was right there, had the lead most of the game and had their chances. So to me, this is one more step in the process. You play a team that's very similar record, who you may see once again in the tournament. I mean, to me, this is a big game, but as you know as a former coach, Monday night games can be weird. You're coming off a Sunday, it's not a normal day, you've had no practice, your prep time has probably been somewhat limited. So I also want to see how both teams handle Monday nights.
Yeah, Monday night's just a different night to play. But, you've got, I think one of the things we'll talk about here when we get a chance to discuss the teams a little bit more is when you look at the two, it's kind of a tale of two teams. Napoleon relies on some size. They've got three girls that are 5'11" to 6 foot tall. Those are their leading scorers. They've got a freshman point guard who nobody wants to be a freshman point guard, and life's never easy. You're going to see a ton of pressure from the other teams, whereas the Lady Bears have really played without much of a post presence. Brea Hepker's done a nice job in there. Miley Vollmer's done that in there, but they've both done that being undersized most nights against solid post players.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I was looking at the stats here before we came on the air, and I looked at Napoleon, and it looks like they have struggled a little bit rebounding the basketball, too. They're getting rebounded by 2 or 3 rebounds a game. They get up some offensive rebounds, but they certainly have a good post presence. We've seen Good and Miller play over the course of now the last 2 or 3 years, veteran players. Again, like you said, Bryan probably has a little bit of an advantage with a veteran backcourt. So just be one of those things where which team can exploit the mismatch better than the other team.
All right, well, you're listening to the Bryan Athletic Boosters Countdown to Tip-Off. We'll be back with more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
This community is more than a place. It's where we celebrate victories and where we lean on one another in times of loss. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're proud to be rooted here, serving with care and compassion when it matters most. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
We're back at Napoleon High School. Brian Arnold and Tim Meister bringing you tonight's game between the Bryan Lady Bears and the Napoleon Wildcats. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel Supply Center. Well, the last time these two teams met, it was a tale of two games, like a tale of two teams that I talked about earlier. Coach Meister mentioned it. In the regular season matchup about a year ago in Bryan, Napoleon just blew the doors off the Lady Bears, came out and shot the lights out in the first half. I think they had about a 25-point first quarter, and that game was over when both teams went to the half and I think maybe a little bit of a running clock even in the second. So when the tournament draw came around, Napoleon decided to jump on Bryan, who had still earned a higher seed based on record. Napoleon came to Bryan, and the Lady Bears turned the tables on him, playing a lot better at that point in the year, able to knock them off 47-35 in February before heading to the districts down at Miller City. So let's look a little bit at some details here on the Napoleon Wildcats, and Coach Meister will tell us a little bit about them.
Napoleon Wildcats there, led by Coach Corey Primebrink, who after a 2-year absence coaching at Columbus Hilliard returns. This is his 9th season overall with a 163-76 record. As he said, he spent the last 2 years at Dublin Coffin with a 22-25 record. They average about 38.7 points per game. They allow about 37.6, so they have played a bunch of close games this year.
All right, so let's look at our Lady Bears then.
The Lady Bears, led by Coach Todd Grosstree, in his 19th season, 374-205 overall. For the second year in a row, they've lost back-to-back league games to open the season, so this is not unfamiliar territory for the Lady Bears to know how to turn this around. They score about 44.3 points per game. They allow about 44.2 points per game. Again, two teams are just really similar statistically, very similar as far as veterans back, very similar in the sense both been a part of the rivalry. So it should be a really good one tonight.
Yeah, and like you said, these kids know each other, and that's not just high school. These kids have been playing against each other since 3rd and 4th grade, 5th and 6th grade, know each other really well from other sports. So you got kids that are really familiar with one another as we go into this one. We're going to take another break. We're going to come back here. We'll talk about keys to the game. We'll meet tonight's officials and break down this matchup a little bit more before we get things going. We're at the Grand Canyon in Napoleon. Brian Arnold, Tim Meister on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
All right, back in Napoleon, about 5.5 minutes until tip-off of this non-league game between the Bryan Lady Bears and the Napoleon Wildcats. So let's talk keys to the game tonight. Keys to the game brought to you, as always, by the Carlin Company Realty and Auctioneers. They've been your hometown real estate company for over 45 years. They've consistently remained #1 in Williams County and the surrounding areas since 2007. Call us for all of your real estate needs. So let's go keys to the game tonight for the Napoleon Wildcats.
First for the Ladycats, they need to take care of the basketball and make sure Bryan's pressure does not lead to turnovers and easy baskets. Keep the game in the 40s. Napoleon's not a team that's going to score a lot of points. This game can be 45-40, 40-35. That's right at their alley. Then rebound at both ends of the floor. Like I said, they've been susceptible to giving up some offensive rebounds and being out-rebounded. So getting on the boards is key for Napoleon.
All right, so let's look at the keys to the game then for our Lady Bears.
They're going to sound very similar. The Bears have to rebound at both ends. Against Della, they did a terrific job of boxing out. They went through a stretch this year where you said they got hurt so bad on the offensive boards. And boy, did they turn that around. We're absolutely terrific against Delta. Attack Napoleon's zone and shoot with confidence. Again, at times, zones have given the Lady Bears a little trouble. They've settled for some threes when they haven't made them. So again, finding that balance, penetrating the zone, getting some drives to the baskets, also making sure they're getting good quality shots. Then finally a good start in defensive fourth quarter. When the Lady Bears get off to a good start, they don't dig themselves a hole. They're a pretty effective basketball team.
Yeah, and I think one of the keys that goes along with that, with getting good shots, taking good shots, is making shots. Lady Bears have just really, as a team, have struggled from the field. They struggled mightily from the line in the last game. I think it was 14 of 31. And I say I think only because I'm going to pretend that number's not burned into my mind in a 4-point loss to Delta that we missed 17 free throws. Finding a way to get ourselves going. And I think really, it's one of those things, as a softball coach, baseball coach, when one guy or one girl starts to hit, everybody starts to feel a little more comfortable, and everybody thinks the ball looks a little bit bigger, and there's a lot more gaps out there. I think that same thing's true with basketball, and that's probably what's going to have to happen is somebody's got to get hot. We've got to see the ball go through the net, and then somebody else has got to get a couple shots to go, and then we can all get hot. And if that happens, then good things can happen.
Absolutely. The nature of the beast in high school basketball especially is when you don't make shots, misses tend to bother kids. And if you're a good shooter, misses cannot bother you, but that's tough, especially the 15, 16, 17-year-old out there. I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. If we can see some baskets go through, get someone hot early, I think it becomes contagious.
I heard it yesterday watching some playoff football. Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville played this weekend, and I heard the post-game interview with Josh Allen, and he even used the reference in that, talked about the shots that he was taking, and Jacksonville stopped him a couple times early and things were going, and the phrase he used was shoot or shoot. I don't care if you're shooting 10% or 80%, a shooter shoots. There's one way into a slump and there's one way out of it. You got to shoot. Just keep putting the ball up.
If you think about misses, you'll never be an effective shooter or an effective scorer. It doesn't matter if you miss 10 in a row. If it's a good shot, the next one goes, you think it's going in. But again, that's easy for us to sit here and say. It's a little tougher when you're down there actually going through the process.
All right, well, let's meet tonight's game officials. Game officials are brought to you by the Tri-State Vision Center, serving the area since 1977. Contact us at either our Bryan or Montpelier offices for all of your eye care needs. Officials for tonight are Jeremy Teege, Bryce Bailey, and Reyes Ramirez. So this has been the Bryan Athletic Boosters Countdown to Tip-Off. Starting lineups and more are coming up on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
bryanarts.org.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
Back in Napoleon High School, 30 seconds left on the pregame clock. We're going to get ready to take it down to the scores table for tonight's introductions and national anthem. Any last thoughts here before they throw the ball up, Coach Meister?
Well, I think when you play a team like Napoleon, we know their two main scorers are Good and Miller. Those are the two kids that have been through the battles of tournament, been through the battles of the season. I think we'd really like to take one of those away, try to make some other kids beat us. Like I said, it's going to be a really good battle. Two evenly matched teams tonight. One of these teams is going to come out of here and say, you know what, springboard on to the rest of the season. So hopefully that's the Lady Bears.
All right, we're going to send it to the public address announcer to get ready for tonight's ball game. Tonight's national anthem, as always, brought to you by the Veterans Services of Williams County. We'll now get officials and starting lineups as we get ready to get things going here from the Grand Canyon at Napoleon High School.
Are expected by all athletes, administrators, coaches, officials, and spectators at all times. The officials for tonight's contest have been assigned in accordance with procedures adopted by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Our officials for tonight are Jeremy Teaching, Bryce Bailey, and Ray Ramirez. And now let's meet tonight's starters from each team. First, the Lady Golden Bears of Bryan High School.
All right, there you have the starters for both teams. For the Lady Bears tonight, Piper Hanna, Amaya Langham, Avery Ann Fisher, Brea Hepker, and Josie Arnold. For Napoleon, Tessa Wrestler, a sophomore, Hannah Miller, a junior, Kendall Miller, a freshman. Yes, they are related. They're sisters. Taylor Glanz, a junior, and Ava Good, a senior. Glanz versus Hepker to jump it up at midcourt. And we are underway after a couple of pump fakes by the official. Napoleon gets the opening tip, handled by Wrestler up top. She gets it to Kendall Miller. Bears are in man-to-man. Up top to Hannah Miller, swings to Ava Good, down low. Great help side defense comes from Piper Hanna. She ties up Taylor Glanz. Gets a turnover out of Napoleon on the first possession. You can see exactly what Napoleon wanted to do there.
Yeah, great scouting report there on the coach's part. Hannah Piper knew exactly where she's supposed to be. Came a long way to help side to cause that turnover. Good start for the Bears on defense.
Napoleon in a 1-3-1, three-quarter court. Bears get the ball down the floor. Bounce pass from Arnold to Hepker. And she can't finish underneath. Ball goes out of bounds off Napoleon. Defender got a piece either on the way up or on the way down. Nice job by the Bears breaking pressure the first time down the floor. Got a good look, and they'll have the ball out of bounds underneath their own basketball to be thrown in by Josie Arnold. And she fires it up top to Piper Hanna, around to Amaya Langham. Napoleon in a 2-3 zone. Hanna and Langham continue to play a little bit of catch up top as the Bears look for some openings against this zone. Langham tries to force it in the high post to Fisher. Ball gets tipped away, taken away by Wrestler, so a turnover by the Bears. Kendall Miller attacks to the paint, picks up her dribble, finds Ava Good. Top of the key three is no good, off to the right, goes out of bounds. 6:59 on the main stop scoreboard. 1 minute and 1 second of the ball game tonight. No score. Early on here, Lady Bears at Napoleon. Arnold and Langham work against the press. Arnold attacks, gets in the paint, deep, can't finish from a couple of feet away off front iron. Good gets the rebound. Napoleon will push. Hannah Miller's got it, picks up her dribble. Now Ava Good will have it up top. Back to Hannah Miller. Kicks to Good. Good working against Avery and Fisher. Miller works against Arnold, kicks it to Wrestler in the corner. Her three is no good. Good checkouts by the Lady Bears. Ball gets tipped around. Will go out of bounds off of Bryan. Stay down here with Napoleon. Really good checkouts. There's nobody that could rally to the basketball once it was on the floor.
Yeah, kind of got a goofy long bounce. Napoleon did a nice job of making a hustle play there. They box out like that all night. It will not be an issue for the Bears.
Lob into Wrestler against Langham. She works against Langham and Arnold. A little bit of contact there, no call. Langham gets the ball. She attacks, hesitation, dribble, gets it to the rim and finishes. Amaya Langham gets the scoring underway tonight. 6:11 left on the main stop scoreboard. Bears get the first bucket of the night, 2-0 with an early lead.
Nice job by Bryan. All three of those shots have come within 5 feet of the basket so far.
Miller picks it up in the backcourt. Her pass gets tipped by Langham, but goes to Kendall Miller. Her pass goes off the backboard to Josie Arnold. Arnold will push and attack. Top of the key, stops, pops a three. That's good. Buries the three-pointer. And a quick 5-0 lead for the Bears, and Coach Kreinbrink wants to take a full timeout. We'll take one here with him. 5:45 on the main stop scoreboard. Bears up 5-0 early.
The historic Bryan Arts and Education building is being renovated for the next generation, transforming it into a welcoming, accessible space where performances and events can be comfortably enjoyed. The $6.2 million project adds lobby and backstage space, new seating, lights and sound system, accessibility, and additional parking. Because here in Bryan, art connects us. Your support, big or small, makes a lasting impact, inspiring generations to come. Donate and learn more at bryanarts.org.
Back in Napoleon. Napoleon calls a quick timeout. Timeouts tonight brought to you by S&S Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, S&S Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your timeout in peace. S&S does it right the first time. Call 419-630-0729 today. Good start for the Lady Bears there, Coach Meister.
It is, and as a coach, on a turnover, I typically don't like to see a kid get the turnover, come down off the dribble and fire three without any passes. But I absolutely love that play by Josie Arnold because we talked about before the game, shooters have to shoot. She's our best shooter. I love the confidence she went up with it. So I just like that aggressiveness early on.
And the Lady Bears out of that timeout will come out in a 2-3 zone. Wrestler gets it back up top to Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller to Kendall Miller. Back to her older sister. She'll attack. Dump it to Kendall. Kendall's three is short off front iron. Chased down by Avery and Fisher. Fisher looks to attack. Splits a double team. Josie Arnold shot fake. Attacks. Gets in the paint. Stuck with her dribble. Hands off to Langham. She gets stuck. Tries to get back to Arnold, and that's picked off by Hannah Miller. Arnold gets her to stop her dribble. Kendall Miller then will kick to Glands, back up to Kendall Miller. They'll reset the offense. Tries to hand it off to Wrestler, throws it off her face. That ends up in Fisher's hands. And Fisher goes right to the basket. Nobody from Napoleon picked her up. But I think Wrestler was trying to figure out whether or not her nose was still where it was supposed to be.
She may have been in concussion protocol briefly.
Napoleon quickly back the other way. Good look inside, and there's their first bucket of the night. Reagan Dietrich checked in for Napoleon during the timeout, and she found a cutting Taylor Glantz, I think it was, that got that layup right there, and they were going to get a foul in the backcourt on Napoleon. Foul on Tessa Wrestler, who's still kind of wiping her nose. She took a ball in the face right off that handoff for the turnover earlier. Lady Bears lead 7-2, 4:29 left in the opening quarter. Maya Langham will bring it across half court against Napoleon defense. Napoleon now in man-to-man. They're out of that 2-3 zone. Lady Bears a chance to recognize. Josie Arnold heat check, top of the key three, and she buries it. Caught it, shot it, good quick release. 10-2 early lead for the Lady Bears. The Bears are into their full court pressure. Fisher and Hannah in the backcourt. Josie Arnold gets a hand on the ball from Dietrich. Dietrich gets it over to Wrestler. She works against Piper Hannah, right baseline. Kicks it to Dietrich. Works against Langham. Hannah Miller's three. Short off front iron. Great check out by Piper Hannah. She gets Wrestler to the ground, and then I think we'll get a foul called. And if that's on Wrestler, that's going to be 2 on her.
Tell you what, that was a great check out by Piper Hannah. In fact, I thought that whistle was a little late because she had her pin, textbook check out. Napoleon girl went over her back, and it wasn't until she went down the ground and kind of forced the official's whistle. But you can't ask for anything better than what we just saw right there from the Bears on that defensive possession.
No, the technique from the second half of the Delta game has continued. Lady Bears being aggressive on their checkouts. Piper Hannah tries the left side, nothing there. Nice backdoor cut from Langham. She goes right into the Napoleon defender. The Bryan crowd and Langham wanted a foul. But I know that official on the baseline is going to let him play. He's got a pretty slow whistle on a lot of contact, and I'm sure he'll be that way both ways. But that's pretty much what you can expect.
As we said, we're okay with that as long as that's consistent and the kids have a chance to figure that out.
Yep. Arnold throws it into Langham, thought about the three, attacks, bounce pass to Hepker, finds Fisher. Fisher hands off to Hepker. Hepker gets it poked away by Ava Good. Ava Good's got it now. She'll fire it up the side to Kendall Miller. Kendall Miller in to a cutting teammate, Addie Butler. The junior just checked in. She's got a bucket. 10-4 Bryan's lead. Arnold throws a back shoulder fade at Piper Hannah. Thank goodness she turned around when she did. Langham open for the left side through, right side three, no good. Rebound down to Hannah Miller. And she'll look to quickly get the ball up the floor against Avery Ann Fisher. Picks up her dribble. Tries to get the ball on the backdoor cut to Ava Good. They're going to call that out of bounds off of Josie Arnold.
Bears have given up 4 points, and both of those have been on runouts by Napoleon, but they've just beaten them down the floor, so they've gotten no points out of their offense so far.
And really getting back in transition D has been a little bit of an issue. Bears have been better lately. Glanz attacks, kicks back to Miller. Miller works against Miley Vollmer. She's going to get fouled and get the bucket. Miley Vollmer just checked in for the Lady Bears, as well as Jessie Kidston, as Langham and Hepker get a break. First foul on the Bears, first one on Vollmer. Hannah Miller will go to the line to try to finish off the three-point play. Bears lead 10-7. Bailey Lamming will check in for Napoleon. So Lamming, Good, both Millers, and Addie Butler on the floor for Napoleon. First free throw, or the only free throw, rattles around and falls. So Bears lead down to 3, 10-7 on the main stop scoreboard. 2:25 left here in the opening quarter. Arnold works against Hannah Miller, fakes the handoff, baseline jumper won't go, and then Miley Vollmer comes in and clobbers Kendall Miller from behind, and she's going to have two quick ones. Emmy Miller will check in for Vollmer, and Napoleon will have it, bring it the length of the floor.
Yeah, two quick fouls by Miley there does not help, as that kind of shortens his bench for the remainder of the first half.
Ava Good and Josie Arnold work in the backcourt. Arnold tries to poke the ball away. Good gets it, hands it off to Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller's pass got deflected, and Piper Hannah throws it into the elbows of Ava Good, I'm pretty sure, and Ava Good gets it to the rim and scores. 10-9 now the Lady Bears lead. The length of Napoleon creating the issue right there. And again, the official on the baseline is not going to call too many fouls, but the other official outside saw the contact at the rim, and Avery Ann Fisher will shoot two. Bears have been on 10 here for a minute, so hopefully Avery Ann Fisher can break the seal. Fisher's first free throw is up and good. Welling Construction free throw line. Welling Construction, third generation family owned general contractor for quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact us at 419-636-3712. Avery Ann Fisher, leading scorer, comes in averaging 13 a night, shoots 81% from the line. Made the first, has a second. Bears with a 2-point lead. Second free throw, should have never mentioned it, comes off the right iron, rebound to Hannah Miller. Works in the backcourt against Josie Arnold. Dribbles into a trap. But I tell you, right there, you can just see the Napoleon length throwing over the top of traps and causing passes to be difficult for the Bears. Ava Good knocks down the three, and Napoleon has their first lead of the night, 12-11. Fisher takes a little bit of an errant shot. Ball gets knocked away by Bailey Lamming. Napoleon back into their half-court offense. Good in front of the Bryan bench. Throws to a cutting Kendall Miller. Ball gets rattled around. Picked up by Lamming. Doubled down by the Lady Bears. Jessie Kidston pokes it away. Dietrich ends up with it. And Kendall Miller's got it up top with a minute left in the opening quarter here. Napoleon with a 1-point lead. Napoleon in their half-court set. Kendall Miller with it at the top of the key. Finds Ava Good. Ava Good works on the baseline. And her shot gets blocked out of bounds by Josie Arnold. So Napoleon will have it underneath with 45 left here in the opening quarter. Ball's lobbed into Lamming, finds Dietrich, trying to find the flex cut in their offense, and then we're going to get a foul on Jessie Kidston. Third foul for the Bears, 40.6 left in the first quarter. Napoleon has the ball and the lead. Piper Hannah will check in for Avery and Fisher. Give her a little extra break here at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, nice move by Coach Grosjean dear. Avery Ann's been in foul trouble the last couple of games. It'd be nice to get her to the second quarter without a foul.
Ball thrown in high to Kendall Miller. Works against Lang. The ball gets poked away by Piper Hannah. Piper Hannah is going to run out to the rim. Left-hand layup off glass is good. Gives the Bears a 1-point lead with 30 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
That's a great left-handed layup in traffic by Piper Hannah.
Kendall Miller trapped in the backcourt. And then we're going to get a foul called on Maya Langham trying to tie up Miller in the backcourt.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, Langham had her arms out where she should have been. The Napoleon girl just took the ball and slashed with her arms. Probably could have been or should have been a no call, but certainly can see what appeared to be a foul of the official.
19 seconds left. Kendall Miller dribbles to the left corner, picks up her dribble, finds her sister out high in front of the Bryan bench, who hands it back off to Kendall. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Nice little screen and roll game out of Napoleon. Lamming can't get the shot to go, gets her own rebound, kicks it to Good. She passes up the shot, and then the horn will run out before Napoleon can get a shot off. Good close out there defensively by the Bears. So the quarter will end with the Lady Bears with a 1-point lead on the main stop scoreboard, 13-12. We'll be back after this break.
Fallen on hard times? At the Williams County Veteran Service Office, we're here when life gets tough. We provide emergency financial assistance for housing, food, and utilities, plus transportation to VA medical appointments. Whether you need help today or just someone who understands, we're ready to serve. Please reach out to see what we can do for you, because the only veteran we can't assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
All right, back in Napoleon High School, getting ready to start second quarter action. Lady Bears lead Napoleon 13-12 on the main stop scoreboard. Main stops open when you need them. You're always near a main stop. Don't forget Thirsty Thursday every Thursday, as Napoleon will start with the opening possession here in the second quarter. Kendall Miller, Hannah Miller, Ava Good, Taylor Glanz, and Reagan Dietrich are the five for Napoleon. Amaya Langham, Piper Hannah, Jessie Kidston, Avery and Fisher, and Brea Hepker are the five for the Lady Bears as they start out in a 2-3 zone. Ball gets swung around to Kendall Miller. She gets it to Ava Good. Left elbow, jump shot's good. Napoleon now with the 1-point lead.
That's a player the Bears can't lose in that zone. She was kind of running loose on the baseline, too. It was only a matter of time for Napoleon found her. She has to be very aware of where she's at.
Yeah, and she's shown distance, and then that was a nice mid-range jumper, and she's long, so she's got a little bit of everything as far as her offensive game is concerned. Fisher tacks to the paint. And she's had a little bit of trouble with the length of Napoleon, not taking the ball strong to the basket. Her shot doesn't go. Kendall Miller pushes it across the timeline. Hannah Miller now against Fisher. Dietrich works against Jessie Kidston. Ava Good passes inside. Entry pass, no good. That was Hannah Miller trying to get that to go. Nice check out by Avery and Fisher after the miss. Fisher thought about it, three, didn't. Thought again, took it. Rattles around, doesn't go. Hannah Miller comes down with the rebound, and Napoleon looks to run. Kendall Miller pushes right corner. Reagan Dietrich's three. misses everything long. A good hustle there by Taylor Glanz to save it, but it goes into the hands of Avery and Fisher. Works a crossover. A couple of shot fakes. Jesse Kidson's shot doesn't hit anything and goes out of bounds. 6:18 left here in the second quarter. A lot of action, Coach Meister.
Yeah.
14-13 Napoleon with the lead.
Both teams are getting, I think, pretty good shots considering the level of defense we've seen tonight. I mean, both teams are putting pressure on the ball, playing physical man-to-man in time zone.
Bears run and jump, and then Brea Hepker loses. Taylor Glanz on the back line for an easy layup.
We saw that last week a couple of times, just to get that backside rotation, which is so important anytime you trap or anytime you press.
Napoleon in their man-to-man. Lady Bears need to get a little bit of motion going here offensively, a little bit of standing. Piper Hanna probes right side, can't find anything, loses a handle, gets the ball back, finds Fisher, crosses it over, kicks to Arnold. Her right side three will go. Another three for Josie Arnold. Ties the game at 16, and Napoleon again quickly back the other way. Good push in transition. Ava Good will take the three, top of the key, no good. Good checkouts by the Bears, but the length of Napoleon too much and just tipped it away on that. So Napoleon will reset their offense. 5:15 left here in the opening half in a tie ball game. Ava Good swings to Taylor Glanz to Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller working against Avery and Fisher. Finds Wrestler down in the corner, corrals it before it goes out of bounds. Now Hannah Miller has it up high. And she'll hand it to Kendall Miller, who's working against Piper Hanna. Kendall Miller, just a freshman, but doesn't look like a freshman. Looks like she belongs out there with the older girls. Taylor Glanz with a lob into Hannah Miller, who draws a lot of purple jerseys and tosses it in off back iron. She had to work hard for that one. The Lady Bears defended it hard. Sometimes good offense beats good defense. Langham finds Arnold on the left side, calls for a screen, swings it to Avery and Fisher. Ball on the floor, handoff to Langham. Langham, 15-foot jumper, banked in off glass, tie the ball game back up. 18 all on the main stop scoreboard. Hannah Miller will bring it up the floor for Napoleon as she walks it up against Avery and Fisher. The run and jump of the Bears. And we're going to get, just a nickel dime foul on Josie Arnold there. That might be the only one she's had called on her all year she's going to agree with. As she lays out poor Tessa Wrestler. She's taken one in the face, then she just took a shot in the back.
The bad news is she picked up the foul. The good news is she got 2 points for a takedown and maybe a point for back points.
I'm just glad there's not a targeting call in basketball, or we might have to have a review. So Napoleon has it as it gets poked away by Piper Hanna. She takes it away from Hannah Miller. Stops, takes a short jumper off glass. Good decision by Piper Hanna against a taller defender. Gives the Bears a 2-point lead, 20-18 with 3:45 left. And then we're going to call out of bounds. Wrestler couldn't get around Amaya Langham, then decided she might try to go through Amaya Langham and dribbled it on the sideline.
You know, the Bears have done a really nice job of pressuring the basketball, and that's bothered Napoleon somewhat tonight. They've had 7 turnovers already. I think 3 have been off that. Then getting back to Piper Hanna, she's made about 2 or 3 really good decisions in the open court tonight and finished off turnovers.
And Piper Hanna was really good in December. She got sick and missed a game, and she's had trouble getting back in her flow, but she looks like she may have found it tonight. Fisher's shot gets altered. She misses. Hepker with the rebound, gives it back to Hanna. There she is again, off glass, and a 4-point lead for the Bears. Good decision again by Piper Hanna.
Yeah, nice job by Brea Hepker keeping that alive. When you get an offensive rebound and can capitalize with a basket, that just doubles the trouble for the turnover team.
Land skip to Kendall Miller, and she knocks down the 3 from the right side. Freshman hits, 22-21, the Lady Bears lead. Avery Ann Fisher again gets it all the way to the basket, but cannot buy a basket right now. She's going in against some long arms, some long defenders. They're altering the shot a little bit. Tough whistle inside too, so Avery Ann's not getting her game going the way she likes. Bears still with a 1-point lead, 2:45 left in the half. Glanz, right point, swings to Ava Good. Ava Good defended by Josie Arnold. She'll swing to Kendall Miller. Miller looks backdoor to her sister. Left hand off glass, no good. Rebound by Ava Good. And I don't think anybody in purple and gold is going to appreciate that call. I thought they had a jump ball call on Josie Arnold against Ava Good. Ava Good will go to the line. Her numbers are pretty impressive from the line. 13 of 13 on the season. I'm no mathematician, but I think that's pretty good. And knocks down her first free throw to tie the game at 22. 2:30 left on the clock.
He got Amaya Langham on the backside on that foul call, which is very interesting because she was really nowhere near the play. He had two players in front of her, so I don't know if we missed something or how he got that call on the backside.
Second free throw is up and good for Good. So Napoleon with the 1-point lead, 23-22. They drop back into their half court, 2-3 zone. Arnold on the left side to Piper Hanna at the top, finds Fisher at the elbow. Bounce pass to Hepker, back to Fisher. Good ball movement by the Bears. Kind of a wild shot by Fisher, doesn't go. Hepker is put back, misses everything. But the Bears will keep it out of bounds. But between Fisher and Hepker, we're getting some shots at point blank. We just need a couple of those to go in.
Like you said, I think Napoleon's length is kind of in their heads right now, and they're just going to have to go right into bodies and go strong with the basketball.
Fisher passes up the three and then tries to hand it back to Josie Arnold, cutting to the corner and throws it away. So turnover to the Lady Bears. 2:07 left on the main stop scoreboard here in the first half. Napoleon with ball and a 1-point lead. Kendall Miller works versus Piper Hanna in the backcourt. Getting harassed. Now Kidston comes in to help, and we're going to get a timeout by Coach Kreinbrink, worried about the 10-second clock. 30-second timeout. Coach Meister, a ton of action here so far tonight. Good pace for both teams. Still not a super high-scoring game, but pretty good basketball being played tonight for a Monday.
Really good basketball game between two teams who played very hard. The Bears are causing Napoleon some trouble defensively. I feel a little bad for Kendall Miller as a freshman point guard. She has done a really nice job, but where they've gotten in trouble is they know Brian's going to run and jump, but the other four players clear out and they leave her all by herself. You know, as a player, you have to recognize if someone's not guarding me, that means they're going to double somebody, and you got to run to the middle of the floor and help your teammate out. And there, they would have probably got a 10-second call or a turnover. I think that's what Coach Kreinbrink is probably telling them. If they're going to go run and jump us and double us, if your man or this girl goes to double, you've got to run to the middle and help us out.
All right, so Napoleon has the ball back after that 30-second timeout. Lady Bears are back into their 2-3 zone. Good has it, working against Jesse Kidston. Now Kendall Miller at the logo. Back to Ava Good, back to Miller, swinging it around to Reagan Dietrich back in the ball game. Skip pass to Ava Good. Finds Lamming on the curl cut. Back to Good. Quick three on the way. No good off front iron. Josie Arnold with the rebound. Arnold will push. Kick to Piper Hanna. Back to Arnold. Left side three on the way. No good off front iron. Ball kept alive. Rebound down to Glanz. Good up to Dietrich. She thinks baseline. That's taken away. Napoleon in their half court now against the 2-3 zone. 1:05 left. Bears back in man, I should say. Ball up top with Kendall Miller. She'll set the half court offense. Good versus Kidston. Up top to Glanz. Tries to lob it inside to Hannah Miller and misses. Ball goes out of bounds. Turnover to the Bears.
We have seen that how many times this year where they tried to make a post entry from the top of the key 20 feet away. That's just an almost impossible pass to make.
I coached with a guy one time when people used to run half-court sets and half-court offense who yelled about those entry passes from the top of the key being poor basketball decisions.
I wish I knew that guy. He sounds smart.
He was. If I ever see him again, I'll introduce you to.
Appreciate that.
Bryan now in the half-court. Napoleon in their 2-3 zone. So both teams kind of throwing zone and man at each other. And there's Avery Ann Fisher off glass. Nice shot fake, no hesitation that time. Got it right to the basket, give the Bears a 1-point lead back. 20 seconds left. Ava Good finds herself open and free in the corner. Scramble for the ball. Josie Arnold tips it to Avery Ann Fisher. Fisher's going to attack. Finds Kidston. Kidston's got it back to Arnold. 5 seconds left. Draws a crowd on the baseline. Can't get it to go. Then Hepker's putback is blocked. So that's the way the half's going to end. Lady Bears with a 1-point lead, 24-23 here at the Grand Canyon in Napoleon. Really good basketball up and down, a lot of action. Kids playing hard on both ends. We talked a little bit about it in the beginning. You don't know what you're going to get on a Monday night, but I'd say that's pretty good basketball for a Monday night.
I think both teams came out with tremendous effort. I think the familiarity breeds contempt. I think that comes into play tonight. It hasn't gotten chippy, but it's been intense. There's been two teams that really expended great effort tonight.
Yep, and I think you see that. Obviously we talked to Dave Kleck and WNDH crew over here before the game started tonight, and they asked how many Arnolds are there and how many more years they have to watch these kids play. I've been around this now for 11 years, and then you add those early years of youth basketball in, and there aren't a lot of strangers in Northwest Ohio when you've been playing basketball against people that long, and you start to get some feelings one way or the other. So we'll probably see a little bit more of that here, as it's a 1-point ball game, a lot to be decided yet. We're going to take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network, come back and talk some stats and possible adjustments at the half. It's Brian Arnold and Tim Meister. 24-23, the Bears lead at Napoleon.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
If you served, you may qualify for VA health care, even if you were denied before. New rules recognize burn pit and toxic exposure claims. We can help you apply, understand benefits, and access the care you've earned. Let us help protect your health. Today and for the future, contact us to see how we can help. Williams County Veterans Service Office. Veterans serving veterans.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
All right, back in Napoleon High School, Brian Arnold, Tim Meister. Lady Bears lead by 1 on the main stop scoreboard, 24-23 after a really good half of girls basketball. Coach Meister, let's talk a little bit of stats here. You got some individual numbers to go through.
Let's do individual scoring. For Napoleon, Addie Butler chipped in with 2, Kendall Miller with 3, Taylor Glons with 4, Hannah Miller with 5, and they're led by senior Ava Good with 9. For the Lady Bears, Amaya Langham with 4, Avery Ann Fisher with 5, Piper Hannah with 6, and Josie Arnold with 3 threes, 9 points, and 1 roughing the passer.
One possible targeting there. They may still be reviewing that at halftime. We'll have to ask them in the truck. All right, so let's look at team stats here for both.
Yeah, for Napoleon, 9 for 22 overall, 7 for 12 from the 2, only 2 for 10 from the 3. 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Bears forced them into 8 turnovers, 4 offensive rebounds, 8 defensive rebounds for the Cats. For your Bryan Lady Bears, 10 for 26 overall, including 7 for 19 from the 2, 3 for 7 from the 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Only turned it over 4 times, which is outstanding. 6 offensive rebounds, 8 defensive rebounds. And like the score on the scoreboard, the stats are scarily even.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good explanation for a 1-point lead for Napoleon here at the half. I think two teams, you got two teams, one of them's 8 and 5, the other one's 7 and 6. You have very similar stats across the board season-wise. You have similar stats now here at the half and individually. We're seeing two teams that are pretty evenly matched. So I think as we look at this going into the second half, it's going to come down to who takes care of the basketball and who can make some shots. And if the Bears specifically can continue to limit Napoleon to 1 shot a trip. I thought they did a really good job of getting bodies on people and not giving up second chances.
Yeah, they did a tremendous job on the defensive end of finishing off possessions with defensive rebounds. A nice job of turning Napoleon over. I almost thought at times they could have pressed a little more, but I think Coach Grostein, being a smart coach like he is, Probably going to keep that in his back pocket a little bit. Going to try to make some adjustments. And I thought what both teams did really well, and you may have mentioned it, I thought both of them switched from man to zone enough that it kind of slowed the other team down, because I know both teams at one time tried to run a man offense against the zone, then tried to run a zone offense against the man. It took them like one or two passes, all of a sudden realized they had to get back into the right offense. So nice job by both coaches of making the offense think and come down and not know what they're going to see every possession.
Yeah, if you look at, and I was just thinking about that as you said that, Coach Kreinbrink's had to burn a couple of timeouts. One momentum timeout early, and the other when Kendall Miller got caught in the backcourt and was stuck with the ball. You know, he's burned 2. Coach Grosjean's got all 5 left. It's probably, you're assuming it's going to be tight. Probably going to stay pretty close to one another the whole way through. We'll see whether or not that makes a difference in how the rest of the ball game goes.
The other thing I really like about Bryan's position right now that we haven't had the last few games is Avery Ann Fisher and Josie Arnold, your 2 leading scorers, aren't in foul trouble. I think Josie has 1, and I don't know if Avery Ann even has a foul. So you're going to go into a second half where both those kids can be aggressive, and that's only going to help everybody else on the floor.
All right, we're going to take another break here. We'll come back. We're going to talk halftime adjustments, maybe check some out-of-town scores, and get ourselves ready for second half action here on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
From the first whistle to the final buzzer, life is filled with moments that shape us. Moments of victory, of challenge, of community. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're honored to stand by families through every season of life. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
Allie Held Herman is a 2004 Bryan graduate and former Lady Bear basketball player. Allie tragically passed away in 2021, but she saved the lives of many others through organ donation. Allie's family encourages you to be an organ, eye, and tissue donor.
Our mom gave the gift of life. She is a hero. We love you, Mom.
Back in Napoleon High School, the teams are back on the floor. 3 minutes left till we tip off the second half. Just a reminder that today's game is brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, the Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel's Supply Center. So Lady Bears are back on the floor. Coach Meister, conversation in there at the half was what? Keep doing this, stop doing this.
I think for Napoleon, it is we need to control the turnovers. You know, they have 8 in the first half, which is a little bit unusual for them. They need to maximize their offensive possessions. The second thing, and we saw him do it, Coach Kreinbrink is going to try to find the mismatch when Bryan plays them man. We saw him post 3 or 4 different players when he thought he had a specific mismatch. Then that chess match on the other side is, I think Coach Grosjean knows that. So he's probably talking to his kids about, hey, make sure you continue to help on that backside, continue to check out, like we said, finish your defensive possessions off with good rebounds and not giving Napoleon second chances. And then if there is something I would think that he may want to do a little more, he's going to do a little more, is pick his spots and maybe to press a little more, to pressure defensively a little more, full court. Most of it has been 3/4 or half. I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to jump a little full court at times just to see if he can get them rattled.
Yeah, I tried to get them to throw the ball away. Something that worked so well against Archbold, who was having a good year. They forced a lot of turnovers, you know. And if you can get some buckets, especially if we can get out in transition and not deal with Napoleon's length around the basket, that'd be a big bonus for the girls as well.
Yeah, I thought our kids did a nice job too. You said that length bothered them, and then we had a couple really nice moves there late in the second quarter. I can remember Avery Ann on one. When you play long teams that like to block shots, sometimes they say, well, you know, get farther away from them. Well, shot blockers like it when you stay 1 or 2 dribbles away from them. They don't like it when you get into their body and get it up to the basket. And Avery Ann's last drive, she did. She got right into the body of the shot blocker, didn't allow the girl to jump, didn't allow her to use her length, and went right up. So nice adjustment by the Lady Bears, taking the ball to the basket. Want to continue to see that aggressiveness.
All right, well, let's get some halftime scores here as well. We do have some finals from around the area. Girls final, Fairview beat Montpelier 57-36. Paulding beat Eden 75-34. I believe Matthew Clark had Eden ranked ahead of the Lady Bears last time I saw his 6 county rankings there. I think we'll have to check both his rankings and his head. Another girls final, Wayne Trace 43, Allen East 33. At the end of 3 in boys action, Miller City led Patrick Henry 42-34. Big matchup there as PH continues to battle that injury bug. End of 3 boys score, Antwerp 53, Hilltop 34. Another halftime score, Eastwood leads Archbold 37-31. Out-of-town scores are brought to you by WBNO, WQCT, and Matthew Clark. No one covers Williams County sports like 100.9 B-Rock. Follow the Bryan Golden Bears all season long on Q96.5. Listen on air or online at WBNO, WQCT.com. So we are ready to start half number 2. Lady Bears will get the opening possession. Josie Arnold, Amaya Langham, Piper Hanna, Avery Ann Fisher, and Brea Hepker for the Bears. Tessa Wrestler, Kendall and Hannah Miller, Ava Good, and Taylor Glanz for Napoleon as the Bears work in the half court. Avery Ann Fisher goes right at Taylor Glanz, finishes off glass. And that's a good start for Avery Ann Fisher and the Lady Bears, and they're into their full court pressure. Kendall Miller picks up her dribble in the backcourt, finds her sister, defended by Avery Ann Fisher. Dribbles into a trap of Maya Langham. And then Wrestler will just run right down the lane. Had the layup, went too strong. Josie Arnold brings it out. And she's going to go coast to coast, left hand off glass, and she'll finish. 4 quick points for the Lady Bears, and they extend that lead to 5. Wrestler now with the ball in the backcourt, bringing it up against Amaya Langham. And then she gets trapped. She throws it away. Piper Hanna attacks, falls, rolls the ball out to Josie Arnold in the corner. Great hustle play. Josie Arnold goes left hand. Boy, she got a whole lot of foul on that. No whistle from the official. Kendall Miller's got it now. Brings it up the floor. Bears do a great job getting back in defensive transition. Glanz works against Hepker, takes the baseline away. Back up top to Hannah Miller. Up to Ava Good. Ava Good, bounce pass to Kendall Miller, and Coach Kreinbrink yells out the orders to his troops as Piper Hanna about pokes it away. Tessa Wrestler, right side, dribbles to the point, back to Miller. Miller attacks in the paint, scrambles, gets the ball poked away, and they're coming out of bounds off the Lady Bears. 6:25, a minute and a half in here, a minute and a half into the third quarter at Napoleon. Lady Bears with a 28-23 lead on the main stop scoreboard. Inbounds play. We're going to get a push on Josie Arnold going through the screen. I think she knocked down Tessa Wrestler again. Tessa has had a rough night. I talked about that interview I saw with Josh Allen. That guy looked like he was going to be in a hot tub and an ice bath for a week.
I know
Tessa may be right beside him.
I know Tessa's parents. She's really nice, too. I don't know what we have against her.
Wrong place at the wrong time, I think, all night as she gets up under Amaya Langham, and Wrestler gets rewarded for the pain she's gone through, and she gets the first bucket of the half for Napoleon. Bears quickly down. Piper Hanna's 3 on line, but off back iron. Kendall Miller chases down the miss, so Napoleon with the ball. 3-point lead for the Bears. Josie Arnold gets a jump ball call, and it's going to go to Napoleon. Josie Arnold's got to be really careful with those 2 fouls now.
Yeah, there was about 3 calls he could have made, and the jump ball was one of them. I think he could have got her for a travel, and he could have got her for a carry either way, but nice job. Again, the Bears' defensive pressure causing Napoleon all kinds of problems bringing the ball up the floor.
Napoleon in the half court. Good in the corner. Swing to Glanz, down to Wrestler. Wrestler attacks in the paint again. Steps around Piper now. Wrestler twice gets free, actually 3 times gets free to the basket. Has converted 2, and that 5-point lead back to 1 for the Lady Bears. Josie Arnold fakes the handoff, works against Hannah Miller. Turnaround jump shot, rattles around and falls. Bears back with a 3-point lead. Napoleon with the ball quickly. Ava Good works it up the floor against Amaya Langham. Miller swings. Good. Gets a look from 3. Shot fake goes around. 8-footer is good for Ava Good. 30-29 Bears lead. About 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Piper Hanna gets her drive taken away. Swings to Arnold. Arnold thought about Hepker, didn't have it. Gets it back up top to Piper Hanna. Bears set up against the Napoleon zone. And right there's one of those gaps. Piper Hanna needs to be ready to shoot when she catches this. She's ready, but shot is blocked by Kendall Miller. Scramble for the ball. Lady Bears able to come up with it. Langham's three, left side, off the right side of the iron, doesn't go. Rebound to Miller. Napoleon with the ball, chance to retake the lead, trail by one. Hannah Miller shuffled her feet a little bit, thought about the three, didn't take it. Ball gets poked away, ends up in Ava Good's hands. Now back up top to Tessa Ressler. Hannah Miller works against Fisher, spins back to her right shoulder. Good defense by Avery Ann Fisher right there. Late pass from the wing. Piper Hannah takes it away from Kendall Miller, who grabs her. She runs by, and she'll get whistled for the foul. A little bit of a frustration foul there out of Kendall Miller.
Yeah, it was. It's probably a good foul, though, because Piper Hannah had a clear path to the basket.
Yeah, I think in the NBA, don't you get a free throw for that nowadays?
Get a free throw and the ball, I believe. That's called a clear path foul.
Bears inbound. Maya Langham working against the Napoleon zone. Josie Arnold gets it to the high post to Fisher. Fisher's shot's blocked into the hands of Hepker. Hepker got grabbed on both wrists right in front of the official. Woo!
On both ends, if you're going to shoot it inside, you better go up, because you're not going to get a break or a call.
Not a chance.
But again, the kids couldn't adjust to it. They know that.
They know what's going to happen. The whistle's been consistent.
Very
It
consistent.
just hasn't existed. Hannah Miller comes off a screen. She throws up a sloppy shot. Same thing, I think, trying to draw some contact. Josie Arnold picks it up. She works down the floor, steps into some contact. Avery Ann Fisher's three is up long. Doesn't go. Fisher hustles for the rebound but can't get it as Taylor Glanz grabs it. Long pass up the floor to Hannah Miller. Spinning layup is good. That time she gets it to go. And Napoleon with a 1-point lead. Josie Arnold will bring it up the floor. 31-30 on the main stop scoreboard. Napoleon with the lead. About 3 minutes left here in the third quarter. Fisher, shot fake, runner, off glass, no good. Again, tries to draw some contact. And it's just not, that whistle is not going to happen. And that ball gets knocked away by, and then a travel, and another travel. Ava Good's left corner three is no good. And then Taylor Glanz. We finally get a whistle there. So Reyes Ramirez has just decided there are not going to be any shooting fouls when he's involved. He's got an important place to be apparently on a Monday night. Ball was out of bounds off Napoleon. Lady Bears will bring it the length of the floor down one.
Very interesting. Coach Kreinbrink, I think, had to go to his bench with a lineup I'm not sure he's real comfortable with. I want to see the next couple of minutes if we can turn them over, because his two best ball handlers are out of the game right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he moved Ava Good to the one.
Dietrich and Ressler up top of this zone. Lamming in the middle. Miller and Good on the edges down low. Lady Bears working against the 2-3 from Napoleon. Piper Hannah's got it. Works left side. Swings to Josie Arnold. Quick release three. Up. No good off back iron. Avery Ann Fisher was there for the rebound. They're going to call it out of bounds off of Lamming. Bailey Lamming from Napoleon. Miley Vollmer will check in for Hepker, and Addie Butler will check in for Ava Good. 2 minutes left here in the third.
So important the Bears capitalize on offense so they can get their press set up, get a basket, made free throw. Turnover wasn't one of the things, but
you have a chance to set yourself up, but that's not where we wanted that ball thrown into the first row. Piper Hannah just missed Miley Vollmer on the skip. So Lady Bears get a chance to set up their full court trap. Ressler works it up against Langham, into the trap by Fisher. Miller gets it back up to Ressler, back to Hannah Miller, and Napoleon's in their offense. Miller, pass gets bumped by Vollmer. Dietrich works out to Butler, back to Hannah Miller. There's backdoor, nice backdoor cut by Lamming, but we're going to get a charge call. Amaya Langham, no doubt, leads the Lady Bears with charges taken, but she's probably got more than one. But a great job by Amaya Langham stepping in front of that cutter right there, and a good call by the official.
You know, a lot of high school kids would make a business decision right there, and Amaya Langham did not, man. She planted her feet. She stayed strong. Tremendous defensive play. Glad they rewarded her for standing her ground.
Amen. Amen. 1:30 left in the third quarter. Lady Bears trail by one with the ball. Fisher missed, got her miss, couldn't put it back in. Now Dietrich hustles up the floor with the ball. She finds Butler. Butler back out to Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller to Tessa Ressler. Napoleon's going to work a little half-court man. Ball gets poked away by Miley Vollmer from behind. Good help defense there by Miley Vollmer. Pokes it out of bounds. So Napoleon will reset. 1:07 left on the Main Stop scoreboards. Main Stop, open when you need them. You're always near Main Stop. Don't forget Thirsty Thursday every Thursday. Inbounded to Ressler. She's up by the logo. 1 minute left here in the third quarter. Lady Bears stay in there man-to-man. Butler with the ball. Up top to Lamming, down into the paint to Hannah Miller. Left corner three, up and good for Tessa Ressler. 4-point lead for Napoleon, their biggest lead of the ball game. Lady Bears need a bucket here before the end of the quarter. Fisher's dribble taken away. Arnold hands off to Langham. Back up top to Arnold, 37 seconds left. Back to Langham, left side three, no good. Rebound down to Dietrich. Napoleon a chance to extend that lead as the Lady Bears stay cold here in the third quarter. Ressler with it up top, works against Amaya Langham. 20 seconds left on the game clock. Puts her head down, goes right hard. Swing it back to Hannah Miller. Around to Dietrich. Up top to Addie Butler. Addie Butler has the ball taken away by Josie Arnold, and we're going to get a jump ball. And that's going to be a turnover, possession of the Bears. The Bears will get it back with 6 seconds. Chance to get a shot off here before the end of the quarter, maybe cut into this 4-point lead. Josie Arnold will throw it in to Amaya Langham.
Napoleon extending that defense with the time. That high post is going to be wide open if they can find it.
Lady Bears about to turn it over, and Josie Arnold will throw up a wild left-handed shot. Bears just about turned it over. They were able to get a shot off, not the one they were looking for. So at the end of 3 quarters, Napoleon down 1 at the half is now up 4. We're going to be tight all the way. 34-30, Napoleon leads on the Main Stop scoreboard. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this.
Discover great job skills training at Northwest State. With over 50 different programs available, there is something for everyone. Providing hands-on training and education is the community college advantage.
Trust is built when we know someone has our back, on the field, in the stands, and in life. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're more than a service provider. We're neighbors and friends. For generations, families have trusted us to care for their loved ones with compassion and dignity.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
All right, fourth quarter action underway. Napoleon gets the first possession, and they have the lead, 34-30. Been a pretty good well-played ball game tonight. Nice lob by Napoleon. Nice set play for them. Backdoor screen to Hannah Miller. Lobbed it to her, gathered, and finished off glass. Napoleon stretches the lead to 6 to start the quarter.
It has been a game of runs offensively. Nothing big, 6-0, 5-0 here and there. Right now, Napoleon's on that run. Lady Bears need to answer.
Lady Bears trying to work against this Napoleon zone. We're going to get a reach goal. Piper Hannah tries to penetrate a gap. We're going to get a reach on Kendall Miller, just her second. So Lady Bears will throw it inbounds from under their own basket. Josie Arnold gets it to Piper Hannah in the corner. She attacks, hands it back to Jessie Kidston. It's poked away. Josie Arnold gathers. Thinks about the long three, passes it up. She's going to take this one, and that one's going to be good. Boy, I thought that was short. That was a few feet behind the line for Josie Arnold, and that gets the Bears back to 3. They cut that 6-point lead in half. Jessie Kidston works against Kendall Miller, and she's got her dribble stuck. She finds Glanz. Glanz finds Ava Good, long three. Answer for Napoleon. Gets the lead back to 6, 39-33 Napoleon. Lady Bears just need to continue to find some offense. Arnold has it, right side, surveys the defense, drawing a lot of eyes when she has the ball now. She swings to Piper Hannah. Piper Hannah finds Miley Vollmer, left elbow, works, kicks. Langham passes up a 3, sidestep, got a good look, but Miley Vollmer there to pick up the rebound and the putback. 39-35, Lady Bears trail by 4.
Be a big basket. We get Miley Vollmer going here. Nice offensive rebound, putback.
Jessie Kidston again doing a really good job against the point guard from Napoleon. She finds her sister, Hannah Miller. Hannah Miller steps inside Josie Arnold and Piper Hannah. They both lost the basketball for a second. Miller missed the layup, and then Josie Arnold poked it out of bounds, so the Bears dodge a little bit of a bullet. It was going to be an easy bucket. 2 minutes into the fourth quarter, Lady Bears trail by 4. Napoleon with the ball under their basket. Hannah Miller will inbound to Taylor Glanz. She spins, and neither Lady Bears stay with her. Miscommunication between Miley Vollmer and Avery Ann Fisher leads to an easy layup for Taylor Glanz and a 6-point lead for Napoleon. Josie Arnold's got it, the logo up top, gets it to Piper Hannah. Piper Hannah up top, trying to direct some traffic for the Lady Bears. Josie Arnold attacks, left elbow, runner, no good. Rebound down to Miller, and she gets grabbed by Avery Ann Fisher. There's a little bit of chippy after the whistle there, Coach Meister. Avery Ann Fisher ties her up, and the ball stay here with the Lady Bears. Lady Bears need a bucket out of this trip. Josie Arnold will inbound. Finds Langham. Langham open 3, long off back iron. Continues to stay really cold tonight, but she needs to keep shooting.
Yep. Good shots, good open looks.
That's going to matter. Josie Arnold inbounds to Amaya Langham. 5:22 left in the ball game. Napoleon by 6. Arnold swings to Piper Hannah. Back to Arnold. Long 3 is no good off back iron. Miley Vollmer comes down with the rebound, throws it up, goes around, can't find the bottom of the rim. Wrestler's got it, and she runs out. And Josie Arnold pokes the ball away. They're going to call it out of bounds off of Josie Arnold. I thought for a second maybe they thought it went off Napoleon. (41-35), Napoleon with a 6-point lead and the ball in front of the bench. Hannah Miller's got it, works it to the top of the key. And now Napoleon can be really purposeful just like that. Nice, easy lob in. Glanz can't make the bucket. Miley Vollmer was fronting with no backside help. Bears dodged one there. Fisher gets held on the way to the basket by Ava Good. I think that'll be on the floor. Ava Good second, Napoleon second.
Good recognition by Avery Ann there. Saw that the middle person of the zone had stepped up to take the high post. There was no help on the baseline. Good aggressive drive.
Arnold inbounds to Piper Hannah, right point. Napoleon stays in that 2-3 zone, extending out to shooters. They're definitely taking advantage of their size advantage inside. Able to give up some things inside and go attack shooters, and the Bears stay ice cold. Avery Ann Fisher, baseline jumper, no good. Rebound to Hannah Miller, and she's got it across the timeline. Gets it to Tessa Ressler, to Kendall Miller. Baseline jumper's good. Right where the Bears miss, Napoleon takes advantage. Biggest lead of the night for the Wildcats, 43-35. Coach Grosjean will take a timeout. We're going to take one here with him on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Back in Napoleon, Coach Grosjean calls a full timeout. Timeout sponsored by S&S Directional Boring. When it comes to your home or farm, make the smart play. From new main water and sewer lines to field drainage, S&S Directional Boring keeps things flowing underground so you can take your time out in peace. S&S does it right the first time. Call 419-630-0729.
Comes down to made shots, like you said, and we've gotten great looks. In the second half, we're 1 for 11 from the three. We've gotten great three-point looks, too. You can't fault the kids for not taking good shots, because they are good shots. We have to make them. But also sometimes you have to know when you're 1 for 11 from the three, get yourself to the basket, use a shot fake to get yourself a mid-range jumper, something just so you can kind of get yourself into a flow offensively here.
Yeah, and that's kind of basketball now. It's three-pointers or layups, and people forget that 15, 16-footer, when it goes in, it still counts. I think that shot fake and one dribble and a little step back, pull back is effective. Finding that happy zone before you end up amongst the trees is good. Avery and Fisher, nice little spin move when the Bears needed it. Got herself ISO'd inside, went to her left shoulder. Taylor Glanz, much taller defender, fouled her. Fisher's shot goes, and she'll get a free throw from the Welling Construction free throw line.
At the beginning of that possession, I was going to say I was very surprised Napoleon went to man, because they played that zone literally half of the third and all of the fourth. Has been very effective. Flip the man, and Bryan takes advantage of it.
Cut the lead to 5, 43-38. Bears with a chance to get back into their pressure. Hannah Miller attacks up the floor, gets it to Wrestler, up to Ava Good, back out to Wrestler, and Napoleon's going to be really happy to eat time every time they can in their offensive possessions.
Absolutely. Right now, they're not going to let Bryan play any zone. Bryan's going to have to play man and try to force the tempo here. Still a lot of time left, like you said. Napoleon will try to bleed that clock and try to, again, maximize every single possession.
And really got Ava Good got poked in the eye there. I hate to even say there was Josie Arnold. She's been a one-man wrecking crew out there so far tonight. Inadvertent poke in the eye. Ava Good will take a seat. Napoleon will retain possession. 43-38, 3:13 left. I was about to say right before that, the Bears have to give 5 fouls. They've got none called on them so far in the fourth quarter. So good news is you can be aggressive.
And that may play into Bryan's hands. As slow as the whistle's been, again, very consistent whistle. But Bryan's okay being very physical and aggressive in their man. It might help.
Yeah, and they're going to have to take some chances here. Glanz attacks, kicks it back to Kendall Miller. A couple of good decisions there for Napoleon in their half court so far, not being overly aggressive offensively. Dietrich works up top against Josie Arnold, chase down the lane, runs right into Piper Hannah, who just takes it right out of her hands. That's a turnover for the Wildcats. Lady Bears need to take advantage. Avery Ann Fisher, left side, hands it off to Josie Arnold. Calls for a screen, doesn't use it, goes left. Finds Fisher on the cut. Her runner's good off glass. A little two-man game out of Fisher, and Arnold ends up as a bucket for Bryan and cuts the lead to one possession. 3-point lead for Napoleon. Kendall Miller to Glanz. Layup no good. And Maya Langham just takes it out of her hands, and then she's going to get fouled by Dietrich in the backcourt. That's going to be 4 on Napoleon, still no fouls on Bryan, and a 3-point lead. Bears with a chance to tie.
And again, Napoleon staying in that man-to-man defense, that possession. I want to see if he flips back to his zone, because that's been way more effective for Napoleon than their man-to-man has been.
Yep, and here it is right here. Napoleon back to that wide 2-3. Your 4 defenders up top, the 2 up top and the 2 on the wings, almost out at the 3-point line.
Yep, and it looks like they're trying to match up out of this as best as they can out front.
And they understand who they're playing. They know the Lady Bears are not built for size. They're built for shooting the 3. Find Avery Ann Fisher, walk away, takes a dribble, steps into some trouble, finds Piper Hannah, 3 on the way, rattles around, no good, followed by Miley Vollmer's good. We got a 1-point ball game, good offensive rebound by Miley Vollmer. Wrestler attacks down the floor, we're gonna get it, oh my goodness. Oh my, Miley Vollmer did a great job seeing Wrestler coming. Boy, that sure looked like a charge from 100 feet away and up in the air. Probably a lot of wishful thinking too on that. 3 on Vollmer, first on the Bears this quarter. Wrestler shooting free throws, 58% free throw shooter coming in. Her free throw is no good off front iron. Maybe a little bit of the ball not lying. 1:36 left. Got late in a hurry.
Coach,
Bryan has 4 timeouts, and Napoleon has 3.
Yeah, a good call. I was just going to say that, Coach Arnold. He has 4 timeouts left, and he will not be afraid to use them to make sure they're getting the looks that they want.
And I'm pretty sure Wrestler banked that
She did.
free throw in. So Napoleon up by 2, 44-42, stay in their zone. Lady Bears have time to be patient and get the look that they want. Avery and Fisher in the walkaway. Jump shot, long, and then Miley Balmer gets whistled on the foul there. Just a second on the Bears. It's 4 on Balmer.
So I'm going to step out of character and say this, because they have been good all night. That call has not been made.
No, there's been a lot worse contact.
It has not been made for 31 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's the time you decide to make it.
Yeah.
That's just not a good piece of officiating.
Napoleon quickly threw, and then they threw it away. Josie Arnold tipped it. Piper Hanna just about gathered it up, real close to a turnover there for the Lady Bears. So Napoleon will inbound underneath their own basket, up 2 with 1:13 left on the main stop scoreboard. Ooh, Glanz flashed open late off of the screen there. Hannah Miller missed her, but got it into her sister. So Wrestler up at the logo, 1:05 left. Guarded closely by Amaya Langham. Down to Kendall Miller in the corner. Her drive is taken away. She gets it back out to Wrestler, and it's going to come close. Lady Bears are going to have to get close to fouling here pretty soon.
Yeah, they need to get up and get physical with them right now. Force the official to blow the whistle or cause a
you
turnover.
just got to take some chances now. You're going to have to get handsy, force a turnover by grabbing if you have to.
And that's fine.
That's 3. They've got 1 more before Napoleon shoots. The Wrestler just 1 for 2 from the line. Kendall Miller just a 60% shooter. There's some options out there for the Lady Bears as Emmy Miller will check in for Miley Balmer to protect her in her 4 fouls.
I think that's a great timeout by Coach Rothstein. Now you can tell your kids, here's who we want to foul. And I would think outside of Good and Hannah Miller, everybody else is probably our best 3 options to foul are the other 3?
Yeah, I think you almost have to. If you're going to foul, you almost have to deny Ava Good. Don't let her get the ball. 15 for 15 on the year. The 2 she shot in the first half didn't hit any iron. They didn't hit anything but net. So she looks pretty automatic from there. You've got to get someone on the line who's going to miss 1 for you and try to keep this a 1-possession game. But 43 seconds left. If you can foul right away quickly here twice, maybe even better get a turnover, but if you can foul right away, get on the line, get the ball up the floor, there's still a lot of game clock left, really.
Absolutely.
Having 3 timeouts.
I'd like to see them actually come out and trap the first or second pass real aggressive. Again, tell your kids slap the ball, try to create a turnover. If they call a foul, fine. We have to foul anyways. We may get a cheap turnover. We may get a quick run-out basket.
So Napoleon inbounds into Tessa Wrestler. Again, Amaya Langham works against her. I think this is too where Coach Meister got to take some chances, try to get the ball. It's not just a foul.
Go double.
I want to try to get that basketball.
Go double, absolutely.
Yeah, run behind and go take the ball away. Hannah Miller, a 91% free throw shooter. So now Good and Hannah Miller, the 2 you want to stay away from, force the ball anywhere else and foul right away with 29 seconds left. Josie Arnold, pokes the ball away on the inbounds pass, but they're going to call a foul afterwards on a hold, and that'll put Good on the line.
Yeah.
And that's what Napoleon wanted. She kind of boxed out and right in front of the inbounds passer, made it real hard to not let her get the ball. She'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. 27.9, Napoleon leads by 2. That free throw is good. Ava doesn't look like she's missed one since she was a freshman.
No.
The way she shoots that.
Nope, that's a young lady who spent a lot of hours in a gymnasium shooting basketballs, shooting free throws. Good looking stroke. There's a reason she's 16 for 16.
Second free throw from the Welding Construction free throw line is good, and then we'll get a timeout from Coach Kreinbrink. I think him and Coach Grosjean both yelled for it. They'll go to Coach Kreinbrink for 30 seconds. We'll stay here. We got a 4-point lead. Napoleon up, 27.9 left on the clock. Bears got to get something quick here. If you can get something going to the basket and get fouled, great. You don't have to have a 3.
Correct.
And then you've got to go find the right person to foul. You got 2 people on the floor you cannot foul. Ava Good and Hannah Miller. You can find anybody else. But you Coach Kreinbrink also knows that, so he's going to try to get the ball to either one of those two.
Right, and I think for Coach Grosjean, when you get the ball in, whatever, if you're going to run a set or whatever you're going to do, like you said, it's got to get to the basket harder. It's got to get an open shot, because if you can shoot and score within 10 seconds, you don't have to foul right away.
Right.
Now you can kind of pick and choose who you foul. You run any more time off than that, and it gets down to that 17, 16, 15 in that area. Now it's a little more dicey about trying to keep the ball out of certain people's hands, just foul who you have to foul.
You see Napoleon here extending that 2-3 out to half court. Just make things a little bit harder on the Bears, make them use a little bit more clock. Piper Hannah's got it. Gets it to Josie Arnold quickly. Swings to Hannah. Arnold tries to work off a screen from Fisher. Arnold will take a deep three, in and out. Monty Bummer tried to get the rebound, got knocked to the ground. Bears got a foul, Kendall Miller. So Kendall Miller will go to the free throw line. Freshman is shooting 60% on the year, averaging 6 points a game. Realistically, 1 of 2 here doesn't kill the Bears. The only thing you can't do is give up an offensive rebound.
Correct.
1 of 2, really both of them is still a 2-possession game, but it's a couple of threes, and things will have to go quickly for the Bears. That first free throw is good. Looked more like a 90% free throw shooter than a 60% free throw shooter on the first one.
Yeah, right now Napoleon is 7 or 8 from the line tonight.
Second free throw is no good, and the offensive rebound you couldn't give up. Josie Arnold and Piper Hannah were on Taylor Glanz, and nobody stayed with her, and she chased the ball down. So Taylor Glanz will shoot 2 free throws here as Josie Arnold committed the foul. That was her 5th one tonight. Jesse Ketson will check in for her with 10.2 left on the clock.
Great effort out of Josie tonight. Not only did she score and have a great shooting night, she guarded Ava Good most of the night. That's a tough defensive assignment. That wears you down, and she was really good on both ends.
Melanz's first free throw is no good. So even if she makes it, it's still a 2-possession game. Lady Bears just got to be quick and get a timeout. Need to get the ball up the floor in a hurry. Ball is through. 6-point lead. Lady Bears got to go fast, get a shot. Lady Bears need to get a shot. Fisher's 3 is up and misses everything. A couple of Bears run into each other on the backside. Ball goes out of bounds, clock runs out, and that'll end it tonight. 48-42, Napoleon with the win tonight here at the Grand Canyon over the Lady Bears. Really good basketball game, both teams with leads. One of those nights where you want to look at lead changes and ties. You had kids that made big shots, kids that played hard defensively on both ends. Pressure was good. I thought the Lady Bears did the things they needed to do, like rebounding and defend. Shooting still got to come around. If the Lady Bears are going to make any noise and find a way to beat a good team down the stretch here, they're going to have to find a way to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, and they got really good looks tonight. They just, again, ran into that stretch where they could not buy a basket. They just could not get anything to fall. Even got a couple of offensive rebounds and got a couple good looks that just didn't go. It has been almost like second verse, same as the first, when it comes down to their offensive woes.
Yeah.
And it's not anything you can coach. It's not anything the kids are doing wrong. It's just a matter of at times the ball doesn't go in, and that's just been so consistent for them. It's just odd. I don't think either one of them expected them to shoot like this year.
Right, and I think, in the second half, I thought the Lady Bears did a nice job going to the basket in the third quarter, and they made shots there. We made some shots off glass, made some runners, hit some mid-range, but boy, just shooting the three-pointer. Something that since Coach Grosjean's crew has started this run and the success that they had, winning their 5 straight league titles, and all, the three-point shot has always been a weapon for the Lady Bears, and it's been an absolute struggle. Josie Arnold made 4 threes tonight, I think it was. And that gets her close to 30 on the year, but that's still half off the pace of what she made last year. And outside of that, I don't think we made a 3.
As a team, we were 1 for 14 from the 3 in the second half.
Yeah, and that's...
of those 14 threes, I would say 12 were terrific shots.
Right, yeah, good looks.
And the other 2 weren't bad, but 12 of those shots were terrific looks, got exactly the look and the kid you wanted to shoot in the basketball. It just did not go.
No. All right, well, 6-point win for Napoleon here at the Grand Canyon tonight. I wish somebody would have told me that we were going to the actual Grand Canyon. I put a coat on. I could use some gloves, an extra pair of socks. I'm going to have to talk to these guys about maybe paying the heating bill around here. A little chilly up here tonight. We're going to take a break here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. We'll come back, talk stats from the ball game, our next broadcast, and the rest of the week for the Lady Bears after this break on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
Here in Williams County, we believe that no veteran should feel forgotten. Our Veteran Service Office is here to serve, helping with VA claims, pensions, healthcare enrollment, and so much more. We're veterans serving veterans with dignity, honor, and respect. Reach out to us today to see how we can help, because the only veteran we can assist is the one that doesn't contact us.
The Bryan Athletic Boosters would like to wish all the student athletes the best of luck in all their sports this year. The Boosters are proud of your commitment to becoming Bryan built. It takes a lot of time and dedication to play sports and be the best student you can be at the same time. Good luck this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters would also like to thank all of their corporate and individual patron supporters this year as well. It takes everyone to make a community and to become Bryan built.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
This community is more than a place. It's where we celebrate victories and where we lean on one another in times of loss. At Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we're proud to be rooted here, serving with care and compassion when it matters most. Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family owned, family focused.
All right, back here in Napoleon. Lady Bears fall to Napoleon tonight, 48-42. Non-conference basketball game, pretty well played game. Some of the bugaboos come back to bite the Lady Bears. So while we're working on our team stats here, Coach Meister's got some individual stats to talk about.
Yep, let's look at Napoleon. For the Ladycats, Addie Butler finished with 2. Kendall Miller with 6, and really did a nice job in the second half of taking care of the basketball against outstanding pressure. Taylor Glon with 7. Tessa Ressler with 8, and again, 7 in that third quarter, which were key runs for the Ladycats. Hannah Miller with 9, and they are led by senior Ava Good with 16 points. For the Lady Bears, Miley Vollmer with 4, Amaya Langham with 4, Piper Hanna with 6, Avery Ann Fisher with 12, and the Bears were led by Josie Arnold with 16.
All right, so there's your individual scores for tonight's game. So let's look at team stats from tonight. I think we just threw those into the system there as fast as we could. So when we've got them, we'll get those up. So Coach Meister, pretty good games out of a couple seniors there. Josie Arnold and Ava Good defended each other a lot, went back and forth, kind of matched each other with some shots. It was just a matter, like you said, the Lady Bears couldn't find that third scorer tonight to help with some offense.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at some individual components, it was fun to watch Josie and Ava battle. You can tell there's a really neat rivalry there. Again, both kids very intense. When one would make a 3, the other would make a 3. When one would go to the basket, the other would go to the basket. And all done within that team framework. So it was very fun to watch those two go at it. Let's look at team stats for Napoleon. 18 for 39 overall. From the 2, they were 14 for 24, not 14 for 224.
That'd be a lot of shots.
Be a lot of shots.
It was a fast-paced game. I got tired there a couple times, but that's a lot of shots.
Not 224, yeah. For the three-point line, they were 4 for 15. And this is probably something we'll talk about in the postgame a little bit. They were 8 for 11 from the free throw line. The Bears forced them into 14 turnovers, only gave up 8 offensive rebounds and 16 defensive rebounds. For the Bryan Lady Bears, 18 for 57 overall, 14 for 36 from the 2, 4 for 21 from the 3. They included 1 for 14 in the second half. Only got to the free throw line 3 times, over 2 or 3 from the line. Only turned it over 5 times. Tremendous job of taking care of the basketball. 15 offensive rebounds. Again, did all the right things of getting to the glass and getting second chances, and then 12 defensive rebounds. Those are the figures, but you know what they say, figures lie and liars figure. There's only one figure that counts, and that's the final score.
Absolutely. And Napoleon's got that number, 48-42. Napoleon comes out on top. We'll see if it ends up like last year when the Lady Bears and Napoleon met up in the tournament again, and the Lady Bears were able to turn the tables on them. Tonight's game brought to you by the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Bryan Parks and Rec, Northwest State Community College, Oberlin-Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, Baldy's Furniture, Stark's Plumbing and Heating, and Thiel's Supply Center. Our next broadcast will be on January 23rd this Friday night, so you can take a couple days off of that. We will be on the air on Friday. We thought we had a Friday night off there, Coach Meister. We both got excited for half a second.
Half second.
I would probably have to go anyway. I'd get in trouble if I didn't. So this Friday we will have the Bryan and Patrick Henry boys basketball game at Bryan, roughly about a 7 o'clock start time. This is the first of 3 ball games for the girls this week. The girls will be at Liberty Center on Thursday and at St. Mary's on Saturday morning. The Bears will have Patrick Henry on Friday, and then they host Van Wert Thursday and then on Saturday. So we want to thank our crew tonight, Director Chris Malanga, Robotics and Replay by John Dalrymple. Cameras are on tonight by Remy Rosebrock and Lily Walker. And we thank Rick Armentrout back at WQCT Radio for all of his help. This student broadcast is produced by the Golden Bear Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any duplication or other use of this broadcast, including descriptions or accounts of the game without the express written consent of the Bryan City School District, is prohibited. One final time for all of us here at the Golden Bear Sports Network with Tim Meister, I'm Brian Arnold. Again, your final score, Napoleon 48, Bryan 42. Have a great night, everybody.